Welcome to the first match of the evening. We're on Overgrowth, spawning to the bottom left-hand side in red. Playing Terran for Euronics Gaming and Austria, it's Sylvanas. And to the top right-hand side in blue, playing Protoss for She's Got the Lane. And Chile, it's Piscolita. Sylvanas already sending out her first SCV, might want to do some sort of proxy shenanigans here. Maybe even a 3-Rex Reaper build with one more SCV getting out here. I'm already starting to like this. So let's have a look. Sylvanas obviously wants to make quick work out of Piscolita here, does not really want to play a long macro game against a Protoss player. While in the meantime, Piscolita yet unaware, but she's already scouting with the help of her probe here. Was obviously assuming some sort of proxy around at her natural base, but not somewhere else, so might not be able to discover what's going on. In the meantime, the third SCV is already arriving at the front and preparing to build a third barracks as well. We have, of course, gas already incoming back at home. That's really necessary for the Reapers. I think Sylvanas not really that experienced with the 3-Rex Reaper build. I think within the FSL she's only played it once. So we'll see how it's going to work out. Probe arrives at Sylvanas' main base, will now check for everything, has not seen any kind of structure close by, just sees the gas being taken, is now just waiting to see something else inside the base, desperately watching and holding out for the barracks, but not really seeing them. So let's see how Piscolita actually reacts. She already has a gateway down, plus the cybernetics core, and another gateway is already in the making, as well as in the simulator. Stays on one base, of course. And it seems as if it's not a 3-Rex Reaper build, it's mostly Marines. No, it's probably going to be Reapers once there's enough gas out. I think Sylvanas just needed to get Marines out because she didn't have any gas left. So let's see, more gas is being banked up, but for now it's still only Marines being produced. I don't really know how well this is going to work out. A bunker is already being produced far outside the natural base, but there actually is no natural base, but Sylvanas does not really know that yet. Is maybe even expecting a base down here, so now finally moves in. Okay, just uses this forward bunker as some sort of leapfrogging point from which, from where out she can just construct more and more bunkers. Maybe even just wants to sort of put her opponent on a constraint here, just keeping her opponent back and in her own base. So Piscolita just answering with a few proxy pylons that she will be able to photon overcharge later on. For now, defending this push is kinda okay for Piscolita. She already has 2 stalkers out. Once these pylons finish, Sylvanas will not really have any chance to get upwards that ramp and deal significant damage anymore. Now in the meantime we already have even some Marauders out, so it seems as if Sylvanas actually really wants to go into a totally one base all in here. Has just blocked her own main ramp with supply depots so that units that might just somehow get out and past these bunkers might just be able to threaten her. In the meantime, Piscolita just managed to get her own probe out alive, is already planting down a proxy pylon, maybe even a gateway later on in order to apply some counter pressure once she's finally held this. Sylvanas is not really aware of that. I don't know if she's actually even thinking about it, that this thing down here might occur, that Piscolita may just avoid her contain completely here by using the warp inability of a pylon. So in the meantime, Sylvanas has already realized that she won't be able to deal much more damage here, except the indirect damage she's been dealt so far, keeping her opponent from expanding, so that she's already lifted her barracks here, is already flying them back. The only thing she now needs to do is just hold the position for as long as possible, but also hold the position back at home, because like I said before, Piscolita has already managed to warp in a few units at that proxy forward pylon, and there are no units whatsoever at home. So we might even see Sylvanas GG right away once these Stalkers actually make it up towards that ramp, especially if they actually get in, because Sylvanas just unfortunately realizes too late on the minimap what is going on, cannot raise that depot, so now counter repair possible. Even if she could just counter repair, it wouldn't even have mattered, since the Stalkers can easily just shoot across these supply depots. And now the only thing that Piscolita really needs to do is just micro her own units. At the meantime, Sylvanas just sends back a small force while landing those barracks. So maybe if she just holds out for a little bit longer, she might be able to clear this up eventually, but she's already taking a massive amounts of damage here, while now even having to give up that fortified position in front of her base. She could actually also even take her 3 SCVs with her, because she's going to need them once her army finally arrives, but it doesn't even have stim, so it's unstimmed bio against these Stalker forces. So if Piscolita just micromanages accordingly, it should be fairly easy for her to even keep on with pressuring. 19 SCVs have died at the moment. We have 25 workers to 11. I think Piscolita will just move out any moment. Is probably not even sure if this bunker is empty or not, or is maybe just too occupied dealing more and more damage at the front inside Sylvanas' base. So for now, Sylvanas finally managed to clear up everything that was in her base. She has a second command center finished, already morphed into an orbital command once to fly out and land it, but there are again 4 Stalkers that deny that possibility. So Sylvanas just pulls in all the workers she has, will just have to wait for a few more workers to arrive, but Piscolita already on 58 supply to the 21 of Sylvanas. I mean, mules will help out for now. If you just have a look at the income tab, we see that the income is kinda okay-ish for Sylvanas right now, but she also has to remake a lot of her workers, especially if she plans to draw this, or to draw this out any longer into some sort of macro game, which will be pretty hard from that point on. I don't want to lie to you, this looks pretty over, but Sylvanas still fighting strong, is even building a bunker here, is assuming that her opponent is probably going to pressure her once more after this push. So maybe she hopes for a bad engagement for Piscolita, that Piscolita might even overcommit by just staying too long on that ramp, losing too many units. But honestly, I don't even know if it's even possible for Piscolita to overextend at that point in time. I mean, Piscolita has more Stalkers than Sylvanas has bio units, and there's no stim done yet. Stim is just being researched. So even with the help of the bunker and even with the counter repair, I think the sheer mass of Stalkers should just eventually be able to get through, especially with the help of these sentries now, which can also help to keep workers from repairing that bunker. So yeah, like I said, I don't even think that Piscolita can actually overextend here. She can just pick off all of the units. Even losing some of these Stalkers is totally viable at that point in time. Can just pick away at these depots from far away with the help of the mothership core that just grants vision towards the high ground. So now moving upwards the ramp, well, not really the best engagement now, maybe losing another Stalker over here in the meantime, saturating her second base at home, so her advantage will just get deeper and deeper here, no problem whatsoever, with the help of the observer, plus the mothership core now even picking off some units that try to get close to the edge of her main base, picking off more and more supply depots. Sylvanas just doesn't have the possibility to pull all of her workers, because once she pulls them, she will not mine enough anymore, and I think this is only a matter of time until Sylvanas actually has to give up. I think the best chance for her would be to just lift this orbital command, trying to fly it over to that position, but I think Piscolita would probably just realize what's going on with the next push, seeing that the orbital command is on a way outwards, and then would just intercept it and kill it. And there we have it, the SCVs and a lot of units also being kept away from that bunker here. Bunker falls, now it's only sheer SCVs and a few Marines. Well, second bunker in place as well. Sylvanas tries to defend as cost efficient as possible and actually succeeds with that. I mean, the units lost tab, if we just have a look, is quite okay for how far back Sylvanas is, and there she finally gives it up. GG, and Piscolita takes the first game. Daybreak is our second map. We have Sylvanas in the top right hand corner and Piscolita in the bottom left hand corner. Sylvanas tried a failed all-in attempt on the first map. It didn't quite work out the way she wanted it. Was able to contain her opponent inside her main base for quite some time before eventually Piscolita managed to sneak out a probe and build a proxy pylon where she warped in units and terrorized Sylvanas' base, who then eventually had to give up her fortified position at the front and return towards her main base, but at that point in time it was already too late. Piscolita just way ahead at that point in time. So it seems as if this time around Sylvanas just wants to play a straight up game again. Starts building a barracks inside her own main base, while Piscolita this time around again just checks the natural for possible proxies, but then nothing else. Also quite interesting. I mean, a typical position for proxies would be somewhere over here or even somewhere over here on the high ground. So if you are really nervous about proxies somewhere close to your base, then you usually would check this location over here and this location as well. I think these would be the most typical proxy locations, of course. Sometimes people even using this part of the map for a proxy location, since it's outside of vision range of the watchtower. So, Piscolita even stressing Sylvanas out here by planting down a pylon right where she usually would want to build the reactor, or the, well, in most cases, especially if you start with a Reaper, it's going to be a reactor. But yeah, just keeping her from planting down that reactor, if she could have, because right now it doesn't really matter, she's producing Reaper anyways, so it wouldn't even matter. But of course she can always stress out, manage to get Sylvanas to freak out and pull a few workers in order to deal with this, because of course there's always the chance that the player will just actually let this finish and send the first mothership core over. So once the mothership core arrives and the pylon is still intact, you can just always photon overcharge it and just already start killing off things that are close to this proxy pylon position. So Sylvanas just didn't want to let that happen, pulled a few workers, but then eventually Piscolita cancelled the pylon and it didn't even matter anymore. So Sylvanas with the low ground expansion. At the same time we have the Reaper in front and it gets killed off by the photon overcharge. So did Sylvanas actually get inside the main base before that? Yes, she did. So she actually got all the information she really wanted to have. Nothing all too unsuspected at that point in time anyways. So if you already see the Nexus going down, you can already assume what's inside the main base, because there's not much to see. Protoss just needs some time in order to get the gas up to get further into the tech tree. So if you see the Nexus first, there's actually not much to see inside the main base. Of course, there could be some gateways, some more gateways than usual, or no gateways at all, which would of course just freak you out, because that would mean that there would be some gateways out on the map. But then of course you normally don't even see the Nexus as well, because you just don't have enough money to support proxy gateways plus the Nexus. That's just a problematic thing. So yeah, like seeing the Nexus and then getting inside the main base is almost already redundant. The only really important thing you actually want to see is like the third pylon, where the third pylon is planted, and if there actually is a third pylon somewhere inside the main base or at the natural location. Because if there isn't, then that means that there is some sort of proxy pylon outside on the map. Your opponent is either hiding something, or is especially hiding something, or just hiding or proxying something. So it could mean some sort of oracle play, it could mean there could be DTs. You never know. You then just have to scout more carefully for what's coming eventually. Piscolita just going into a Twilight Council. We will probably also see robotics. Oh, it's already there, never mind. A robotics facility afterwards. Since it's Piscolita, I think she will go into Blink. Piscolita likes to play Stalker heavy in almost every matchup. Yeah, actually in every matchup. So I think we're going to see Blink, and there it comes. Well, in the meantime, we have a fusion core incoming for Sylvanas. So Sylvanas just getting into all of the troll builds here. Quite interesting. Seems as if she either wants to go into battle cruisers early on, and or she just wants to have the upgrades for Banshees and wants to go into speed Banshees here. So let's see what she actually wants to do with it. But I'd assume it's going to be battle cruisers. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Seems as if Sylvanas really wants to transport right into the main base of Piscolita, wreaking havoc gridlock there. We will see if it's going to work out or not. In the meantime, she secures her borders by burrowing Widow Mines here. So if her opponent actually wanted to get inside the main base with a Warp Prism play, that could be rather difficult to do. Of course, there's always... actually, I really would like this Widow Mine to be somewhere more tucked back, like close to the refinery and close to the mineral line, because that's usually where you want to fly your Warp Prism in, unload, and maybe even warp in. So I think these might not be the best positions for Widow Mines. But never mind, she just wants to make it more difficult for her opponent to get in there. So, first battlecruiser almost out. In the meantime, we have more Blink play. I mean, Piscolita playing Stalker Heavy with Blink might just be the answer to what Sylvanas is actually doing here, even double battle cruisering. And I know it's not a word, but it should be. Yeah, I mean, let's see how this is actually going to work out once the battle cruisers. Oh, and even getting the weapon refit. What? The weapon refit? That's what the upgrade is called? Okay, quite interesting. Never actually looked at that. The weapon refit. Okay. For the Yamato cannon. Yeah, actually usually just call it the Yamato cannon. And there it is! The fusion core is researching! Do the fusion core dance inside your chair if you're with me. So, in the meantime, we have Piscolita preparing her first push. She has Blink almost done. She has vision towards the high ground, so she can just avoid this little entrance army that's almost inexistent and just jump right into the main base. She probably doesn't know jack shit about the battle cruisers, so let's see how this is actually going to work out. Bunker will fall, no chance there at all, but we actually have vision with the observer here, so there is a possibility to snipe down these Widow Mines, but the battle cruisers are already in position. The SCVs just desperately trying to counter-repair the battle cruisers, and it actually works out quite nicely. Immortal and all the Stalkers just have to retreat. Immortal, of course, cannot even shoot up. Warp Prism also gets away because Sylvanas does not really spot it. Has actually not lost that much. 0 workers killed. But if we just have a look at the... sorry, that was a pause. If we just have a look at the resources lost tab, we see that Protoss has already lost more resources than Terrans. So far, actually, Sylvanas' build has worked out tremendously, even granting her a third base as soon as possible. Piscolita just warps in a few more Stalkers over at the right-hand side, wants to deny that base for a little bit longer. But yeah, in the meantime, we have Sylvanas just massing more battle cruisers, while Piscolita still has to take her third base. It's almost done, but needs to be saturated as well. So Sylvanas now realizes that 4 Stalkers are out. 3 battle cruisers on the way will just easily destroy this force. So Piscolita just blinks away and has to let Sylvanas take that third base for now. But yeah, with a little delay, they both actually managed to get their third base up at around the same time. So more and more Warp Prism arrays over to the left-hand side will probably want to get into the main base. Unfortunately, the Widow Mines are no longer here. Sylvanas just used them to defend the first push. And let's see if Piscolita will be able to deal some more damage over to the right-hand side. Is pressuring the third base as well, but the battlecruisers and the Widow Mines are still there. But of course, this distraction will just give her the opportunity to deal some more damage inside the main base. Nice reaction time here by Sylvanas, only losing 3 workers in the meantime. So, might even be able to get the armory if she actually just focus fires it down. That would be a great deal, but a battlecruiser arrives, and Piscolita obviously assuming that it's probably going to be mere. Whoa! Even getting the Warp Prism with a Yamato cannon here, so nice little snipe there by Sylvanas. And this build is actually working out tremendously well for her so far. So, I'm really surprised, but it's really fun to watch. So, don't get me wrong. 4th command, even 5th command center in the making already. Sylvanas just going crazy with the economics here. So just have a look. But right now, Piscolita has finally managed to realize that maybe some counter air build might help her out here in the long run. So she's going for Void Rays, the direct counter to the battle cruisers. Earlier on, in the earlier phases of the game, you could also use High Templars to just feed back the battle cruisers, and which would just take away the chance to Yamato anything, and it would also harm the battlecruisers quite a lot, because I think battlecruisers used to have, I think, around 200 energy. So if you really feedback them with like 200 energy, you also dealt 200 damage at the same time with High Templars, so you could also just use ground forces plus High Templars in order to take them down. But without the energy bar, with the energy bar removed, and all of the abilities now being on cooldown, it's actually a little bit tougher to take these battlecruisers down with just ground forces and gateway units. So you usually just need to have something that packs a bigger punch, and Void Rays might be just the thing you want to have. 2 Void Rays, don't know if it's actually going to be enough. Yet Sylvanas hasn't managed to get up the like critical mass of battlecruisers, but it's already 6. So don't get me wrong, with the Widow Mines beneath it, this can actually deal like tremendous amounts of damage. And the Widow Mines actually being a very good choice here, because if Blink Stalkers, of course, just want to blink under, trying to take out the battlecruisers, they just jump right inside the Widow Mine field and get destroyed in an instant if there are enough Widow Mines. So that's actually, even on paper, quite a nice composition here. Getting a planetary fortress, of course, at the front, so it will be easier for her to defend, even having a planetary fortress at the third base here. Yeah, she doesn't really need so many orbital commands, because she just needs a lot of gas and not that many mineral income anyways. Destroys the warp prism over here. Yeah, there are still some zealots around, but we don't even actually care about them, because once they get closer to the planetary fortress, they will be annihilated anyways. At the same time, we have the big push at the front. Unfortunately, the Sylvanas was a little bit out of position here while taking care of those forces to the right-hand side, so the Piscolita actually managed to get in, kill off the planetary fortress, but it doesn't really matter to Sylvanas that much. She's still at the third base up. She already has a fourth base tucked back inside her main, so she can just always fly it across the map and then just defend that position once more. Could also even build another one over here, because she has lots of overmints anyways, which is just typical for air builds or mech builds. So that's why she just starts producing 3 more command centers anyway. At some point in time, players even sometimes build planetary fortresses somewhere around their other planetary fortresses to just fortify the position even more. In the meantime, Piscolita trying to establish a 4th base over at the typical 4th base location, while rallying more and more Stalkers across the map. Quite interesting here that she plays so Stalker heavy, but they still haven't got any upgrades. We only have the ground weapons upgrade +1 in the making right now, as well as the air weapons upgrade. So it has waited actually quite some time in order to get them, while Sylvanas already has the +1 upgrade for weapons, for air weapons, is getting the +2 upgrade as well. Waiting for more and more battlecruisers to arrive, the mass battlecruiser mass mind play, and have a look at that fleet. It's already 10 friggin' battlecruisers. Now even having some Archons in the mix, they of course deal quite some damage. Trying to take out that third base over here. Counter repairing is on point. Let's see if Sylvanas can actually save that base, and she will be able to do so. Now the Void Rays charge up. Is charged in place? It is. So Void Rays finally charge up, but get annihilated in an instant here. Let's see if the fleet of battlecruisers can actually fight against this army. Now the Archons over to the right hand side get under fire by the planetary fortress, and Sylvanas holds the push, destroying almost all of the army of Piscolita here. Wow, the Widow Mines not even participating in the fight. I mean, just to give you an idea of how decisively Sylvanas might have even won that, were the Widow Mines had the Widow Mines been in a better position, like a little bit more towards the front, and then just actually starting to firing at all of these Stalkers, I think this army would have just been evaporated in an instant. So the debris has already been gone, so actually Sylvanas could just mass a few more units and then maybe fly across the map to kill off that 4th base, and she might as well do that. I think she rather wants to lay back a little more, maybe granting Piscolita the opportunity to get back into the game. We'll see to that. Missile turrets are being planted to help her out against more air units here, but actually I don't really think she needs the missile turrets anyways. I think these mass amount of mines could just deal easily with any ground and air force. So more zealots being warped in, but the counter repair just too strong. It's actually the same problem you have with unupgraded Zerglings, where you just try to surround a planetary fortress, but if you don't get a full surround, even sometimes if you get a full surround, the planetary fortress just deals too much damage and has too many health points. With counter repair ongoing, there's actually no chance in hell to really take this planetary fortress down with just speedlots. It just doesn't work out. If you have like upgraded links with metabolic boost, then it might... no, not the metabolic boost, the attack upgrade, the adrenaline lance, then you can actually just take it down with just links, but it's still quite difficult if it gets counter-repaired. So no chance. That's actually a good choice by Sylvanas. Making that a planetary fortress makes defending this position just way more easy. And just way easier, sorry. So more weapons. This time around it's again going to be Stalkers, but Stalkers alone won't really help her out that much, I feel. Finally we have 100 Stalkers, but Sylvanas already on 2-2 with her air weapons upgrade, now also getting air armor and ground armor for Piscolita here. Piscolita again just massing the same amount of units, mostly Void Rays, a lot of Stalkers, some Archons in the mix. It didn't work out the first time, and like I said before, last time the mines weren't even in position. If Piscolita actually tries to engage with that kind of army, I don't really feel it's going to work. So this time around, just, well, not actually trying to lure her over to the right-hand side, because the rest of the army is just totally out of position here. Seems as if Piscolita just wants to deal as much damage as possible, but she will only lose a lot of Stalkers here. That's just a lot of resources done and actually nothing killed for the Sylvanas here. So now getting inside the base. Okay, actually the turret's helping out a little bit. The mines, again, not in the fray. Piscolita just retreats right before the Widow Mines can burrow. The base survives, and mostly nothing of Sylvanas' army has fallen. Sylvanas now going into a ship level 3 upgrade. Yeah, and the longer this game goes, the more problematic it's going to be for Piscolita. Main base is dry. Natural base only has 3 more mineral patches. Third base is also getting pretty dry, and then there's only the 4th base actually mining. Sylvanas has, well, actually is in almost the same position. Yeah, actually her main base and natural are already empty, but she has another orbital command in place. Actually wants to take another base, I feel. The only thing she's really worried about is some sort of drop prism play inside her main base. That's why she actually just put a lot of missile turrets into position. So I don't think there's actually going to happen much. And also, if it did, she could just always warp these battle cruisers back inside her main base to defend the push quite easily. So I don't really know what she's actually worried about, planting all those sensor towers here, even 2 of them, in order to get better vision. But yeah, of course, this position over here is pretty fortified. No chance for Sylvanas to take a 5th base right now. She will have to clear this up eventually. Is not aware about this 5th base for going down for Piscolita here. I think Sylvanas just wants to mass more units and wants to attack once she hits 200. So here we have it. The attempt of the warp prism will probably not deal any sort of damage. Yeah, just trying to stay outside the vision range of the sensor towers here, but we'll eventually have to fly in, and then there are the turrets in place. So I don't really know if she will be able to do that. Is trying some multi-pronged harassment here. Getting the Stalkers close to the planetary fortress is never a good idea, especially with the battle cruisers in place. Warp Prism manages to get in and plant down 2 Stalkers here that might be able to get a tech lab. Sylvanas not really reacting in the quickest way, but now gets it, plants down the Widow Mines. The Widow Mines alone actually would be able to kill those Stalkers. Nice little blink out here, but the battlecruiser will just be able to eventually take it out. 1 battlecruiser still in the making, so killing off the tech lab did not interrupt the process of building a battlecruiser. But after this 1 battlecruiser, Sylvanas will have to replace the tech lab here, but it's not really a big problem for her anyways. So Piscolita still staying with the Blink Stalker army. It's only 1-1, and she has a lot of High Templars here. Probably not for Storm, but mostly for Archons, I feel. Don't really know if Archons will be the answer, especially not to Widow Mines. Once again, I mean, you might... at that point, I don't even think she would be able to beat the battlecruiser fleet here with the army that she has, but with the Widow Mines, I mean, you really need to get close to that army, maybe even underneath it, but then the Widow Mines are there. So, wow, I don't know. Yeah, she might just lose one of the battlecruisers before the battle actually happens. But now just have a look at all the Yamato and all the firepower of the battlecruisers, spreading them out even a little bit more, probably because she just saw the High Templars, thinking there might have been Storm. Don't know why so many High Templars were actually in the fray, not Probably forgot to morph them into Archons right before the match. I don't know, because you can't really feedback them. Maybe Piscolita forgot that and thought she could feedback them still, but it's just not possible anymore. Trying another attempt of taking down a planetary fortress over here, and we see even without counter repair, the Zealots would not have succeeded. In the meantime, we have a command center being in place over to the left-hand side. There is a pylon in place, so Piscolita could warp something in order to harass this base over here. Let's see if she does at one point, but does not really know about the base at the moment. So yeah, I mean, look at that Widow Mines. Even these Widow Mines, if they just actually get close to the army and get burrowed before most of them get destroyed, I think the Widow Mines alone might actually be able to take out this army here. That's just ridiculous. But DTs, ladies and gentlemen, when behind Dark Shrine, might just be able to take those down. Now, of course, it comes to haunt her that she doesn't have that many scans available, but enough to take out these 3 DTs over here, no problem. More DTs? No, only Zealots. I don't really know why Piscolita tries to attack these bases over here with pure Zealots. Like I said, it just doesn't work. I mean, if Sylvanas should actually forget to repair these bases at one time, Piscolita might just be able to whittle it down eventually, but what good would it do her to take down this base? And now we have the mass warp-in! The jump right into the main base of Piscolita here. Only mothership core standing around. The battle cruisers just taking out pylons and structures, like even 1 or 2 shotting the structures over here. Finally, the army returns at home, but look at that pitiful army. It will not be able to defeat these 3-0 upgraded battlecruisers, not even with the help of Void Rays. Everything just gets taken out. Sylvanas taking the supply lead 177 to 90 and finally takes the second game, tying the series 1-1. Echo is the third map of this best of 5. We have Sylvanas spawning as Terran to the top left-hand corner, and to the bottom right we have Piscolita as Protoss, who just lost a game against mass battlecruisers and Widow Mines, and a lot of planetary fortresses. But a very interesting build by our Terran player that got her back into this best of 5 series, tying it up 1-1. Let's see what she has in store this time around. Probably not another battlecruiser build, I guess. So let's see. It's not going to be any cheese either. So Piscolita already sending out her probe to check. Well, this time not even for proxy locations. So if Sylvanas actually had built a proxy barracks or 2 close to the main base of Piscolita, it would have gone unnoticed. But Piscolita will, of course, just get a good idea of what her opponent is doing by scouting so early on. So, assimilator is done, gateway in the making, gas is already being mined by Sylvanas, barracks being produced, and Sylvanas will already move out for a scout of her own. So, probe not being pesky, not terrorizing the building SCV, which is always a little nuisance for a Terran player to deal with. But just moves around, sees that no second gas had been taken yet, but it's being taken right now. And second gas might just hint towards Sylvanas' typical build, where she just wants to go into a typical 2-1-1 build, or maybe a 1-1-1 build. Later on we'll see. So let's have a look at what's going to follow. Base already being built by... never mind, there's the factory. So it seems as if she just wants to build another cheese build, maybe. Nicely done here. Wants to fly the factory, probably inside the main base, and then producing Widow Mines, I feel. Or maybe she just wants to produce some Hellbits and will get some close towards the natural base, and then maybe later on sending over some medevacs in order to get them inside the main base. But I'd go with the factory just landing inside the main base of Piscolita, and then maybe getting some mines done. Unfortunately, the space is actually not even that big, so the assimilator would actually reveal the factory here, so I don't really know. Maybe she just wants to build Widow Mines and send them towards the natural base. We'll see what's going on, but there it goes. Inside? No, not inside the main base. What the frick? What is she doing here? That's quite interesting. She flew in with a Reaper, saw everything, and now has decided to know. Okay, she just actually wants to get in from another angle. Well, it has been revealed by this one probe over here, and it will also be revealed by the assimilator here. So I think there's actually no chance for the Sylvanas to really make this work. Oh, it's actually going to be a ghost build. Okay, that's actually quite interesting. So, really nice what the Sylvanas is actually doing here, just getting out all of the aggressive Miyako builds here. So that's really quite interesting to see it getting done by another Terran. So yeah, like I said, there's the mine already being produced. So the mothership core and the Stalker alone will not be able to destroy the factory. Oh, okay, but never mind. Okay, Sylvanas does not really want to go through with it. I think she could have actually. So waiting for the cloak ghosts to arrive. I don't really know if it's going to work. We already have a robotics facility in the making, and I don't think the ghosts will actually hit early enough. Sylvanas is of course already producing some, rallying them across the map towards the front, but I think at that point in time, when the first cloak ghosts actually arrive at the base, I think there will be an observer out, or almost at least close to done. So, Ghost not even marching across the map by now, so I think Sylvanas will just be too late with her ghost. So, 2 Stalkers just trying to take down this factory. I think she should have actually just went through with the Widow Mine, maybe just burrowing it close towards the Stalker or the Mothership core. Might have actually been able to snipe either the core or the Stalker there, because like I said before, 1 Stalker and 1 Mothership core are not enough to take out that factory by themselves. So finally the units get in, the ghosts actually disguise themselves, just cloak, and will be able to take out 1 Stalker. But like I said before, other than that, I feel there will not be anything done with that. I mean, we don't have a nuke incoming. We have more. We actually have a forge and a pylon going up. Maybe Sylvanas just wants. Maybe Piscolita just wants to get some cannons in place for additional detection. But she already has an observer out. So the only thing that Sylvanas could actually do to make this work would be to save up some scans, snipe that observer, and then just deal some more damage with the cloaked units. But like I said before, it seems as if Piscolita just also wants to repair against that. Maybe she just wants to use the forge for upgrades. Well, she will eventually, but I think she might actually just want to throw down maybe a cannon or 2 at some critical points, like I said, for additional detection. Does not do it right now, just wants to go into some upgrades here, so nothing all too spectacular coming down. And at the meantime, we have a lot of very expensive ghosts for Sylvanas. The observer flying across the map, so actually, yeah, there is more detection over here. And yeah, like I said, the only thing she can do is snipe the observer. And she did it, so now she will be able to just deal some more damage. Photon overcharge, not really effective against units that can't be seen. Might even be able to take out that mothership core, and she does. So at least the energy just goes a little bit down for some of these ghosts here, but it is enough for now. But there's the cannon, like I said before. If you have a forge there, you might as well just want to get a cannon. More observers just join the fray. The observer from the front just comes back. Another observer comes out of the main base. All of the expensive ghosts just get killed, and Sylvanas is just thrown back in an instant here to 33 supply to the 60 of Piscolita. Is not even on 2 bases. There is a command center inside the main, but there will probably be no time to just plant it down, no way to just get it outside and starting to mine. So it's just actually a waste of money and resources by now. Or at that point in time. So trying to get out the medevac, but Gavin gets sniped there. So again, 2 more important units, GG, XD, and Piscolita takes the 3rd game for a 2-1 lead. Whoa, okay, and then we have the next one. Sylvanas just immediately going for the SCV pull. Okay, Sylvanas actually does not really want to straight up game anymore. Just troll building one after another here. So why Piscolita is still wishing GLHF, and Sylvanas pretends to wish her good luck, have fun. She just eventually takes all of her SCVs, sends them across the map, and pulls a full Naniva here. So Let's see if this actually is going to work out. It's a micro thing. Piscolita will actually have a few more workers. Actually, I think this can't really work out because the biggest problem is that Piscolita could just always run around and getting more shields back, while Sylvanas can't really counter-repair because she just doesn't have endless resources. Repairing costs resources and Sylvanas is not mining anymore. So like I said before, Piscolita in any event could just kill off a few workers. She has more to start with to begin with, and can then just always retreat, regathering more shields on the probes, and then she can just go into the fray once more, will eventually kill off Sylvanas here, and yeah, that's a GG, and Piscolita takes it 3-1.